Yo, 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 it's Misha Dex. And
Your boy, Keymon.
wake up.
I know.
Wake up. That was the longest yo, boy.
Talk, talk
Come
to me about
on.
talk to me about the Scarface sweater.
I stole it from my cousin.
Did you? What's your
It's
favorite
fun.
line from Scarface?
Only thing I got in this word is my word and my boss. What's funny is me and Nick was just talking about Scarface the rapper,
uh,
and I was telling him my favorite verse ever by Scarface is "This Can't Be Life."
hmm
With Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel. Like his verse on there is absolutely my all-time favorite verse of all time. Like it used to
hmm
be Nas on Illmatic, but this was it. And so anyway, it led to the Scarface in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was telling Nick, I said, because all I got is my word and my boss. And I'm not cutting nothing. We just say I ain't cutting none of them for nobody.
I
But
haven't
no,
seen that movie in a minute.
after my cousin Freddie passed away, I didn't have much from him.
hmm
And so outside of like his wife being gracious enough to give us all some ashes and jewelry, so sometimes I'll wear his ashes on like a chain, but I started telling my cousins, mainly his siblings, like I just want a piece of something.
Yeah.
And so I stole this. I have his Toronto Jays black hat. I got that from him, and
hmm
my jersey from last week is from him. I'm
Oh,
surprised
okay.
he ain't called the police on me yet, but nah. I appreciate him. I should probably shout him out. Shout out to
Yeah.
Robert. I can't stand him, but
So that's a hell of a shout out. But
that's
speaking of
listen. That's what he get.
speaking of before we jump into I know it's gonna be Veterans Day tomorrow, but
Yeah.
and because we're on the topic of rappers, talk about Outkast getting inducted. Um,
That was fly.
yeah,
I appreciated seeing
I'm
that.
like, can
These
we
are
get
those
another
moments we live
album?
for. Right,
I
right. But what that's
think
gonna look like.
I don't know, but give me something. I know that flute one. I mean, yeah, it wasn't it. I mean,
For
it was
you, but it,
calming.
it
No,
did
no,
what it was supposed to
it
do.
yeah, it wasn't bad per se. Like, but I still want a piece of that
Okay,
album.
so this is
Like,
where the
let
challenge begins because we talk about evolving and people stepping into who they are authentically. I feel like him and Little John got to get some grace. And speaking of Little John, this is so crazy. I just said Little John was telling us a long time ago that he was changing who his character was when he did his verse on Lovers and Friends.
mm,
His verse on Lovers and Friends was so polite and so like, let me know. Like
what
I don't you
what
don't
is
know the
it?
words?
I don't.
Okay, nope, you're gonna have to do your own listen. If you listen to Little John verse on Lovers and Friend, he don't say nothing that's forceful or derogatory. He asking for her permission, like let me know.
hmm
Like I was like, I just thought about that. Little John was like, really? Where Ludacris talking about slapping it and doing all this. Little John was literally asking for permission to go forward. And
mm,
I thought about that. I was like, why we ain't never broke that down? Go listen to Little John verse and then holler at me because
okay.
I think there is subliminals even when people aren't even conscious, right? Sometimes we do changes and things like that and we're not even aware just yet. It's just we're going off
Mm,
what we're feeling. But to go
hmm
back to Outkast, I feel like I appreciate who Andre 3000 was in the beginning. I
hmm
appreciate who started becoming. And then now it's like people wish they can have what he has,
Yeah,
where
for
he is
sure.
just on the street playing his music. He's
hmm
on the New York trains. They like people find him in the most random places
Yeah,
and he's unbothered, he's untouched. Like protect that man, right? like
yeah, that's
um,
true.
but that was pretty dope to see that they were inducted in the Hall of Fame because they deserve that. They were
Mm,
overdue, and it's a lot of are Black artists that are overdue, or minority artists in general, I should say, because it ain't just Black. But yeah, that was pretty dope. And then to see him cry again, it always speaks volumes to me when I see a man vulnerable, a man of color
Mm-hmm.
being vulnerable, um, because it lets you know like they didn't see this happening. Like as much as they worked this hard, as
Mm-hmm.
much as they've contributed on so many levels, that mean they still didn't believe this would happen for them, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, tomorrow's Veterans Day,
Okay.
or the
Well,
the
today
day.
technically.
Yes, today. So big shout out to all the veterans for
Your
sure. We
father-in-law is a vet,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you make sure you call that man.
yeah. I'll give him a call. But
Right.
yeah,
I think it was important to shout them out because, especially with what's going on now, first of all, I have hella friends and family that are veterans. And I also know there's a lot of things they can and cannot say because they're torn between their political views, their political position, and things of that sort. And I always think about what it's like to not be able to speak certain truths
mm-hmm.
and have to still your what is it your position compromises what your status can be as far as verbally out loud. And so
Mm,
I can admire it, but I also be wondering like what is that like to not be able to speak the truth
yeah,
because of what you signed up to serve and be.
yeah. When
um
when other folks ain't doing what they signed up to do. But anywho,
do we need a
yeah,
moment of silence?
yeah. Let me just put this in
Nah,
here.
but even even still thinking about how people have put their life on. I cannot. We are not doing that. That is okay. Hold on, pause. Before we get into your little gangrene gold, why it disappeared? God don't like ugly. It says weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Okay, let you know what? Let's please take the stage. Let's
Yeah,
talk about your.
I just keep it close to my heart. It took me 6 weeks well, no, not even, it took me 8 weeks to get this thing.
I'm breaking it. No, also gonna.
I got to defend it tomorrow. Ask me if I still got it tomorrow.
Like you can get it that quick and lose it that quick. I
Yeah,
don't want it.
yeah.
See, this I can't see my level of commitment is too deep. That's funny. Well,
Uh,
let's give you. Okay, we're gonna pause on the veterans because we got to give Keymon his shout out.
nah, I just wanted to, put it out there so the guys can see.
Matter of fact, make this a teaser. Come on, let's talk. Put it back up. Talk about it. Go and put it back up.
Nah, it's all good. It's a weekend warrior
Speech,
golf.
speech.
I just want to give a shout out, to all the competitors. It was a hard fought battle, but persistent. So I'm persistent with my game. I came on top that day. So, you know, here we
So
are.
what you gonna come on top with tomorrow?
I hope I win it tomorrow. Hope I keep it.
And then
Nah,
if
I
you win
just
tomorrow, do you get to keep it for good
yeah.
or
Nah,
okay?
we just keep week after
Passing it
week.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh,
So
how many fingerprints is on that thing? That's disgusting. Do y'all wipe that thing off?
yeah, it's only been 3 years, so it's all good. It's all good. But no,
Oh
it
man.
that just goes to show, like, as you get older and like when you start forming your cliques, um, it's the small things that keep you competitive, supportive, like, so
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. So yeah.
Speaking of clicks, I had experienced something last week and I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about it. Um, Last week I got a long text message from my friend. Um, and I wasn't expecting the message that I got, right? And it was pretty dope. It was so dope. And I was so speechless that I said to him, I said, if leaving you on red wasn't rude, I would have had to leave you on red because I was speechless, right?
Hmm.
Um, but the message it covered a few components. It covered being proud of me. It covered me not knowing how important I am to people and what I contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, it talked about my relationship with God. And then the last thing was I deserve everything that's coming because I was already successful based on how I carry myself in the world and how I impact people, right? I didn't know how to receive that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a long message.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't answer my phone for a minute. Like when I was getting, so then I get a phone call from somebody I'm doing business with. So I answered the phone thinking it was an update on the business.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, these two people do not know each other.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like, I just want to tell you, you are just an example of a godly woman in a modern time. I said, mm-mm, nope. She was like, no, no, I don't think you understand. Like, you help so many people. I don't think you realize that. And then she said something that just, I broke down in tears because not a lot of people know this, but she mentioned the Job story. And I said, and her name is Eve. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hell no, right? Like now I'm scared. Like, where is
Mm-hmm.
this coming from? So when I was a kid, I swear it felt like every Bible class, every Bible study we left off on, I ended up experiencing that the next week. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the last book of the Bible that I read before my mom passed away was the Job story. What's interesting is Job is a man. So
Mm-hmm.
out of all the people she could have compared me to in the Bible, for her to pick the Job story, which was a story of a great servant of God, and the devil made a deal with God to punish him because he wanted to see that he was going to fold on God, right? And God said, you can do whatever you want to Job, but you can't touch him.
Mm-hmm.
So the devil said, bet, I'm about to wipe out his whole generation. Killed all off his kids. Job was very wealthy. He poisoned his land. All his animals died. He lost his wife. He lost everything. It got down to Job being butt naked. And he said, I will never forsake you after
Mm-hmm.
losing everything. So finally, God said, I told you. And he gave Job back everything tenfold,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I always said I related to that because I didn't have the riches of all that. I had my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And losing her was very devastating, whatever, because there was a lot of things that changed in my life, like instantly. But the point is, I've gotten so many mother figures, um, and that's what helped shape me, right, and guide me. So for her to mention that, and she didn't even know that, you didn't even know that, like this is
Yeah.
your first time hearing why I love the
No,
Job
I
story
never
and why
heard
I
of,
relate.
never even heard of him.
That's crazy because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but just imagine carrying that story since you was 12. I
Mm-hmm.
stopped going to our church at 12 because my mom got sick, and by the time I turned 14, she passed because I was home with her.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine at 12 years old, this is the story at 43 that still carries me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this humble servant. And I was just like, what the heck? I broke down crying. I was like, what's going on, God? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it goes back to I have these conversations about life and I just have them with him. Like I don't even talk to friends about it. I'll just be like, so this and that. And then I'll be like, yeah, I'm feeling like, I'll just like literally just be talking. And what I found in the moment is that he sends my friends or people that are trustworthy to deliver the message back to me. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was pretty dope. So all of that dialogue to say, I heard from God Thursday
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't stop. It didn't stop. Like even text messages through the weekend, and then I had this big event Saturday, and it was in the Crenshaw, well, Baldwin Hills area. And when we got off the freeway, the lights went out. Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole city lost all their lights, and I did a presentation for the first time digital. Right? I love not having digital because I'm like anything can happen. And so I was driving to the event, and I was feeling like I'm gonna have to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, two or three lights before I got to this place, the lights came back on.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there and I was able to use the projector to use through my presentation. And I remember my cousin being like, no, 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 you don't worry about it. You don't have to use the projector. I said, no, I took my time. I prayed over this presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this presentation.
Yeah.
And long story short, it was a dope event. I didn't expect to see elementary to college age girls, but it was dope that my curriculum fit across the
across
board.
the board, across the
I'll
board.
say this last story about it, and I'll shut this down. But I had the girls use a metaphor or analogy of a cupcake to create an action plan. So I broke down what a cupcake looks like as far as the foundation being the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cup holds all your stuff together, right? And this is the blueprint. This is how you start building your action plan. Long story short, I had all the girls go around and look at all the cupcakes on the wall and put a sprinkle on the cupcakes that where they can relate to, right? With a marker, just put a little dot. So one girl decided she wanted to share what cupcake meant, like what which one hit home for her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, "Yeah, it was that cupcake right there. That one is." So it moved me because the foundation was the same as mine, and their resiliency pretty much is the same as mine. And I said, "Well, who decored this cupcake?" So a little girl stood up, right? So mind you, the girl that was saying the cupcake related to her, she's 17 and a senior in high
Mm-hmm.
school.
Yeah,
Guess how old the girl was that made the cupcake that she related to?
6.
She was 10.
Mm.
But still, two, and it didn't even look like a 10-year-old drew it. It
Yeah,
looked like someone way older. So not only are you a little artist, her words was written out perfect, like the way she broke down her storyline. When I tell you, it was so powerful to see that these young, like I said, from the elementary age to college, was vibing off of the activity. It was mind blowing,
mm.
absolutely mind blowing. And I think what happened Thursday was preparing me for whatever adversity I was about to face in the beginning, and then how it all worked its way out.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, and
I
that
don't have
goes.
no trophy though.
Yeah, you don't need this. This is only you can just see this. It's all good. The end result is what he took home. For them,
Yeah,
that's the most important piece. But that goes to show though, like, or show that life is life, right? And life is going to present itself the way it's going to present itself
every
across the
time.
board. Across the board, it's no age group. It's no, hey, you get 5 sprinkles, you get 10. Like, it is across the board, and it's all about the resilience and how we show up, continue to show up. It's about
Yeah,
the village who supports us, as we're walking through. And what I'm realizing in the spaces that I've been in lately is that I can't turn my back and on these people. And I'm not gonna go for like that far into detail on it, but we tend to, as an educator, like just in the past, right? Like, you used to have like a difficult student, you just be like, all right, I just want to run out of my class, or I don't want to deal with them, whatever. And that's the easy way out, right? Like, not dealing with someone, getting rid of someone,
yeah.
walking away from someone, versus really standing on it and really trying to figure out your angle and your approach to connect to someone, right?
It's interesting you say that because that's one of the things I talked about Saturday is people have origin stories. Like
Mm,
there's something that took place, and then there was something that took place from the people that conceived you that hasn't been resolved yet. And then that's the thing. But I just wanted to say that, like, yeah, like I'm giving up, but why? What's the story
yeah,
behind these actions?
yeah. And but what it comes down to, there's always a story.
Yeah.
There is always a story. And so as we continue to do this, like, and I told you I don't go look at the YouTube, like, and you kind of tell me like, oh, comments and stuff, like, I check it out, but like, because that's not what we do it for,
Right.
right? Like we do it because it's our way of not turning our back on people, whether it's directly or indirectly, and that's big for me to have people hit us up on the side, like, oh, that was dope, oh, whatever, whatever, or bring up a topic,
Yeah.
You're like, damn, like okay, you've been listening, or you've been looking, and but what I'm starting to realize though, is that when I am active on social media in terms of like posting a lot, right? Like
Hmm.
this last weekend I posted Tyler and her play,
Hmm.
you know, how well she did and you know, my little clips of playing basketball, but like everyone's in your DM showing love.
Yeah.
And it's not because I post these videos, but it's also a reflection of who you are as an individual,
Right.
how
People
you
get
show
to
up
have
in
insight.
exactly, exactly. So that's it.
No, that's not it. I think there's a battle sometimes, right? We have this battle of, is this considered boasting? Is this giving highlights? Um, I'm asked all the time to make more videos about the stuff that I do, especially when I'm speaking. They're like, "Yo, post when you be speaking," and I'd be like,
Mm,
"I want to," and then there's part of me that's just like, it's sacred to the people that was there,
yeah.
right? Because if I post every time, then people ain't gonna show up. And
Mm,
then there's something I want to kind of piggyback on, but it's still related to this. I have a homegirl that hit me up and was like, "Why you don't ever invite me to your events?"
mm,
And I sat there and I was like, "Cause don't nobody ask." Right. And then the other part of it is that I'm so big on the delivery for the audience, that of the folks that are, that I'm connected to.
mm,
I don't think about my friends being present. And so that's something I had to really dive into, is like, why don't I invite folks, um and but it has nothing to do with not wanting people there, but I think it's also a part of me that's protecting me as well, because I don't want to get my hopes up and then something happens and you can't come. And
yeah.
so I'm learning little ticks about me, as far as like the way, again, those two people that confronted me in a good way on Thursday,
Yeah.
they both said the same thing, that I have to really, I'm still deciphering, like, dang, do I not know my value to people? Or am I really
I,
uh that oblivious?
I think, I mean, in my opinion, it's for me, I think we don't look at it like that, right? Like this is just your act of service, and it
Yeah,
doesn't. And again, though, the outcome is the outcome. Like we know the outcome is 9 out of 10 times you're gonna touch somebody. It might be
yeah,
at one, but and so with that being said, it's not that you're not mindful of it. You don't do it for that reason.
not at all.
So
Not at all.
I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, and I experience my own challenge with certain things, but I don't feel like it is a open dialogue with a human. Like,
Mm,
I literally will go talk to God,
mm,
and I will wait, just like what happened Thursday. I
yeah,
literally have been in my head with God, and then these two people who don't even know each other, uh both said the same four components. Like, their talking points were the same. And then the end of the night, my homeboy Greg was telling me, this is my homeboy that live in Jersey. He was like, "Yeah, man, he was talking about his experience driving home, and how lethargic he was, and he was tired. And he said, all I kept thinking is, thanks, Misha. He was like, I feel like every time something good happens, I feel like it's you." And I started rolling. I said, I'm not talking to nobody else for the
mhm.
next 24 hours. I didn't even talk to Daisy for 24 hours.
Oof,
I was so overdone, and it was too much to download and process. I was like, nah. And that sucks, because those were all powerful
yeah,
moments.
yeah,
And I talked to my therapist about it. And she, same thing as you. Um, she was just like, this is what you do.
yeah,
So
exactly.
you're not looking at it like, who notices it.
How is therapy going?
So my therapist, listen, she look at every episode,
I
by the
know.
way. So I can't even front. We celebrated a whole year last week. Like, that was like like she intentionally showed up with a hat on.
Mm,
Like, she dressed up for me and everything as an anniversary. Like, so, like, no, for real. because she knows my love for fashion and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was pretty dope. And we had a really good heart to heart session. Um, but she's also watching me unpack layers when I'm
Mm,
thinking I'm like right at a good safe space. Then I'm like, guess what happened last week? She was like,
mhm.
what? Okay, so how did you? I swear,
Uh,
I don't know. I feel like me and her both said it. Like the person that told me about her, she was like, "Why didn't they introduce us as friends? Why did this have to be a business transaction?"
mhm,
But no, therapy is going good. I'm super appreciative of our bond. I'm appreciative of um my growth. Like I'm, whew, baby growing. And it may not be something that everybody see because sometimes growth starts within, and I understand what that means now
yeah, yeah.
because your reaction to stuff internally isn't the same. Where you in your head cussing somebody out, now I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, okay,
Yeah,
he like, I ain't there yet.
yeah. No, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm
How's
good.
therapy going for you? How's therapy? Okay.
No, I actually been going. Um, but I reduced the time to once a month.
Okay.
So I've been consistent with the once a month. But what the difference is that we added couples therapy,
Oh,
and so we've been doing that 2 times a month.
how is that?
Um,
Like, is it eye opening? Anything eye opening for you at all?
yeah, um, it's one of them things where you it's almost like a just like getting a pass, right? Like a pass to really speak what's on your heart and knowing that you're going to be heard in the moment.
Mm,
And so I feel like for me in those moments and after it carries over for like a week in terms of the energy that we have towards each other, and then life jumps back on. Or I still get grouchy. That's still not gonna happen. Go away. But nah, it's been good. It's been good, and again, it's the continuing to show up. What I
yeah,
spoke about earlier versus running away. Continuing to show up. So yeah.
it's interesting you use the analogy of running away because depending on who's looking, right?
Mm,
It looks like you're either chasing something or being chased, and that's
yeah.
something that people on the outside can't decipher
Yeah.
because they just see you running, right? And I think the thing about that concept is there's multiple reasons why people run. People run to stay fit. People run because they chasing. People run because
Mm,
they get chased, right? Uh, but I think the biggest part is being able to communicate what actual run you're doing.
mm,
So if you're not running away, then what are you chasing? And
yeah.
if you're not chasing, what are you doing it for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the running doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing if it's a purpose behind it.
Facts.
But I get the understanding of what you
Yeah.
broke down.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to run away from situations.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so
That's
that's
powerful.
been that's been what we at, and we've been doing this a couple of months now. A couple of months.
Do you and her check in about what y'all think are taking away from it at all, or do you guys like
No, we
end it?
haven't actually. I mean,
Okay.
no. Well, I don't think it's as formal. Possibly, it's just like, oh, she was right. Oh, like type of thing. But that's actually a pretty good idea. But yeah, we've been sticking to it, so which is
That's
cool.
dope. That's dope. Yeah. This is the longest I've been in with the same therapist, a whole year
Yeah,
plus. And I was telling her, I said, I don't know where the end. I don't see the end, and that's crazy because in the past I'll be like, oh, so how long,
yeah.
right?
Well,
And then,
I mean, but also I feel like even when we talk today about after work and stuff, like like me telling you that is a totally different response that I would have had
Ooh.
years ago.
I yes. I
And
didn't know
it's,
if we was gonna talk about that at all, so that's why I didn't go deep
yeah,
on that. But yeah,
yeah.
no, for sure.
Um,
What do you
you
think
know,
changed?
one, I think where we're at as a world today,
Mm.
I think that that's part of it. And two, really understanding my purpose. Like really, really, really understanding why I volunteered my time. Like I didn't volunteer to turn my back.
Yeah.
I volunteered because of who I am as an individual, my self awareness, or how aware I am of the situation. Also, shit, I've been that kid.
I was just about to say, I was waiting for you to say that because I feel like that's the other piece, right? When you go back to your own experience. Quick side story, I took my niece Tristan with me Saturday and I was trying to get her prepared for the workshop. And I said, I really want to help young people negate from saying they don't like stuff they haven't experienced yet. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, so remember when you was like tripping about the cruise, you was crying, you didn't want to go. And she just kept saying, why do I have to go? I don't want to get on the boat, blah, blah, blah. And then the last night of the cruise, she was like, I got a confession as me and her mom walking her down the hall. And she goes, this was the best vacation ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I didn't have that. I said, I'm not even going to say what I wanted to, right? So then as we're driving to the event, I said, it's just like the cruise situation. I said, but it's also like how you were afraid to go to high school. I said, so if you had to measure a scale to 1 to 10, 10 being excited, one being terrified, what was your thoughts about high school
Mm-hmm.
before going? And she said a -5. I said, and where are you now? She said a 8. I said, do you know what changed? She said, no. I said, it was your experience. You got to experience that. And the quote of the day that I wrote for the young people was, one day you can have the worst day ever. And then the next you can have the best day ever. The secret is you got to experience both to know the difference,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's for sure.
you
That
know?
is for sure.
So even with this situation where you're looking at, like you said, you being there, also know there's hope. And
Yeah.
this is your own redo for someone that probably gave up on you because you already know what
Mm-hmm.
that felt like. And not
Yeah.
being able to pass that on, it could be,
And also not and also the opposite. Someone stepped in for me.
yeah,
Like, right? And as I think about it, like I don't think I would have saw as much outside of that little pocket of South Central on the east side of LA if it wasn't for my basketball coach coming, Chuck, picking us up to take us to the movies, to take us to these tournaments, just rent like and not asking for gas money.
right. Yeah,
Like it was pick and choose of who not everyone can fit in the van, but
right.
when we got in the van,
But
we
we
were
were in the
good.
van. Yeah. I mean,
So
that's an experience that I feel like, being from Compton and I was getting postcards from different countries from my white
mm,
godmom. That was an exposure that changed my life and that showed me how to be a godmom.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, so
exactly.
I totally get that again, it goes back to reciprocity. It goes back to how our resilience has become our new norm, and paying it forward 1,000%. So,
Mm.
well, with that being said,
Oh shit, it's that time. It is that
why do
time.
you always have to say that? Just what?
Okay, let's do it again. Sorry, let's start over.
No,
Yeah,
ain't
so
no
yeah,
start
yeah,
over.
yeah. Okay.
With that being
That
said,
was like we were talking and you said
why be
be negative.
negative?
Tell me again. Tell me over and over and over again. Be lovers and friends. Maybe show you right before you choose.
I've been knowing you for a long time, shawty, but never crossed my mind, shawty. But tonight I seen some in you, shawty, that made me wanna get with you. Shawty. You ain't been nothing but a friend to me, shawty, and a nigga never ever dreamed we'd be. Shawty. Up in here kissing, hugging, squeezing, touching. Shawty. Up in the bathtub, rubber dubbing. Shawty. Are you sure you wanna go this route? Shawty. Let a nigga know before I pull it out. Shawty. I would never ever cross the line. Shawty, let me hit you, tell me one more time. One more time.
Tell me